All right, today we're going to break down a single job application to pull out some seriously powerful strategies for professional storytelling. I mean, you should probably forget everything you think you know about resumes. This isn't just about listing your old jobs. It's about building a rock-solid, persuasive argument for yourself. And that's a skill you can use anywhere. Let's dive in.
Seriously, take a second and think about your own resume. Is it just a timeline of stuff you've done, a passive record of where you've been? Or is it an active, compelling case that proves you are the answer to someone's problem? That little shift in how you think about it, it changes everything. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
So, the document we're looking at comes from a guy named Mike Rothstein. He's going for a director of sales role, but what he sent in is so much more than just a CV. Honestly, it's a masterclass in persuasion. He structured it like a lawyer, building a case where every single claim he makes is backed up with cold, hard evidence. He builds his entire case on three what we'll call strategic pillars. It's a simple framework. Number one, he proves he's the specialist. Number two, he positions himself as the architect. And finally, number three, he delivers the proof. This is the formula that takes a boring old resume and turns it into an absolute weapon. Okay, so let's dig into that first pillar, the specialist. This is all about proving you have deep, specific, insider knowledge of the customer's world. He's showing he's not just generally qualified, he's uniquely qualified to solve their specific problems. So right out of the gate, he makes this incredibly bold, super specific claim in his cover letter. He's applying to a pet company, right? So he says, look, I know your number one retail partner, Petco, inside and out. I mean, that is a hook they absolutely cannot ignore. But, a claim that big is totally useless if you can't back it up. And here it is, the proof. He doesn't just leave that claim hanging. He immediately supports it with these concrete actions. He shows exactly how he opened that account, how he customized products for their shelves, how he drove sales. See, he's not just listing his duties, he's presenting each one of these as a piece of evidence for his opening argument. So, the big takeaway from Pillar 1 is this: you have to turn your claims into evidence. He's not just saying, hey, I'm an expert. He's demonstrating a clear track record of creating real value for that company's most important partner. That is a game-changing distinction.
All right, on to Pillar 2. This is where he completely elevates his role. He's not just some salesperson following a plan. He paints himself as the strategic brain who actually designs the whole system for growth. He's the architect.
And just look at the language he uses. This is genius. Consumer Product Growth Architect. That's not just a fancy job title, it's a value proposition. He's defining himself by the result he delivers, turning weak spots into growth engines. This immediately frames him as a strategic partner, not just another hire.
And this is the blueprint that proves he's an architect. You notice these aren't small-time tasks, right? He's talking high-level strategy, creating buyer narratives, building playbooks that can be used again and again. He's showing how he gets results, which gives a hiring manager total confidence that he can do it again for them. It's about having a system.
And all of this leads to the grand finale, and maybe the most critical pillar of all, the proof. He's made these huge claims about being a specialist and an architect. Now he has to land the knockout punch with cold, hard numbers. This is the moment where his argument goes from compelling to completely undeniable. He set the stage perfectly, and now he's about to drop the quantitative evidence that proves everything he said so far is true. First up, the big one, the headline number. In his most recent gig, he took revenue from about $2 million to over $7 million in just 2 years. It's a massive, impactful number that just grabs you by the collar and immediately establishes the scale of what he can do. And then he gets more specific. He didn't just grow the overall business, he built a multi-million-dollar direct import portfolio basically from scratch. This proves he's a master of a very specific and very valuable skill. And just in case you thought that was a one-hit wonder, he drops another data point from a totally different company, showing huge growth in a different market. This screams consistency. It shows a pattern of success no matter where he is. This is what you want to see. And then, this simple bar chart just makes his biggest claim unforgettable. Visually showing the jump from $2 million to over $7 million makes the achievement feel so much more real and powerful. You don't just read the number, you see the incredible impact he had. Okay, so we've seen his playbook. The real question is, how can you apply this? How do you take these three pillars, the specialist, the architect, the proof, and use them to build your own story? Let's make this super concrete. On the left is the kind of vague, passive line you see on a million resumes. But look at the right. That's Mike's version. He doesn't just say what he was responsible for. He tells a whole story. He establishes the starting point. He describes the strategic transformation he led, and then he proves it by name-dropping the massive retailers he landed. That's the entire three-pillar framework in a single sentence. And that really brings us to the core of it all. Don't just list your jobs. Build an argument. Use the three pillars. Prove your unique expertise as the specialist. Frame your strategic value as the architect, and then back every single thing up with undeniable proof. So, I'll leave you with this. What's the winning argument that only you can make?